Well, if you'll check your mic, we are live for BRL Split 2 at Melbourne, Australia for one of the only street circuits we have on the Formula One calendar. Excuse me. But it should be an exciting one, shouldn't it, Adam? After past few weeks, we know Chandler and B-Dunk have been sort of making their names for themselves, but we saw anywhere from, even at the front last week, all the way back to 15th or 16th. It was incredible action at Coda. Do you expect to see the same thing here today?
Absolutely. I really like this track in general. This is a great season opener, in my opinion. It offers a lot of action, a lot of really cool corners, and a lot of spots where you have to be careful if you don't want to end your own race. So it makes qualifying interesting, makes the race interesting, and I know everyone in here is fast. So it should be a fun session. It should be a fun race.
It certainly will indeed. We have a little bit of a lower field than we usually do this week. We have 16 runners, but still a very solid field. We would like to note that we have a couple of people, new faces in new places. Oh, Revsy, that is Drip Sane. I believe he just did a gamer tag change. We do have a newcomer, Artie Sim, making his debut tonight. He will be subbing for, I believe it is Ezia in the Ferrari. And along with Nug Life, he is now full-time in the Red Bull, replacing Krob in that position.
Very nice. Always good to have new faces in the league. Good to have more drivers, and I really like the number of drivers we've had throughout this season. And here in Split 2, having more than 10 racers makes it really fun. We got 16 running today, and that makes it really exciting. Let's see here, we got Nuglef going out for his outlap. Couple drivers all leaving the pits here. Revsy, Henchman. Who else is going out? Switchback. Cetus. Yeah, a lot of guys going out. So we'll get the session started here. See what the initial times are coming in at.
Apologies for the delayed commentary. I'm going to do a quick test real quick.
No worries.
On board with Revsy and the Red Bull. I'm really starting to think we're going to see some good strides out of the Red Bull driver in the following weeks. The next few tracks are really good for him, and I really think we'll be able to see some pace, being stepped up by the Red Bull driver in these last few weeks of the season.
I would agree. No, I've definitely seen some good stuff from them, and I think that like I said, these tracks are really, driver focused. You can be really solid, you can be very consistent, you can be quick on some of these final tracks, especially here in Australia. So I'm excited to see if anyone's going to step it up.
And a lot of these drivers are realizing we're getting towards the end of the Split 2 season. There are a bunch of hungry drivers in contention to possibly be moved up to a Split 1 seat next season. There are already a few Split 2 drivers being invited up to Split 1 in these remaining races, just so they can get a little bit of a taste of what the racing is like in Split 1. And at this point in the season, Adam, I definitely think there's a clear 5 or 6 people in Split 2 right now who we can definitely expect to see in Split 1 next season.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. There's been guys that have impressed me every single week. And with Split 2, the nature of having assists, you've got guys that may be faster than they actually are, or guys who don't actually reach their full potential until they kind of start pushing themselves. But there are definitely a couple of names that I will absolutely expect to see in our Season 3 of Split 1 that's going to make it a really fun season. Yellow flag sector 3.
Who was that for?
It's like it's just slow drivers. Yeah. I think Nuglife's here on his, about to finish his first lap.
And I've been a very bad manager.
Okay.
I've yet to do it. Sorry. Go ahead.
You're good. Gets out the way here. Goliath coming across, and he's going to put in the first lap. Looks like it's going to be 1:23.3. First lap's in for the Red Bull driver. No one else on the board just yet. See here, Chandler Seda, I know he's very quick, puts in a 1:20.6. Massive lap from the Williams.
Really, that's a really good lap.
2.5 seconds quicker than second place at this very moment. But we knew Chandler's fast. So as Henchman goes 1:23.0, moves into P2. Nick Facetis 1:22.5. The times are pouring in now. Who else we got close? Let's see. Ledoux looking like he's coming up towards the end of Sector 3.
Yep.
You know, he had a really good race at China.
This isn't one of his better tracks, though, so I feel like for Ledoux, if he can just try to salvage a top 5 or something, he'll be fairly happy.
Looking pretty good right now. 121.4. Good lap from him. Couple drivers still in the pit. Mitch, Artisan.
And this is one of those tracks, Australia, where you can definitely see a clear, distinct sort of pace difference. It's one of the more technical tracks.
Yes.
So you'll definitely have a few guys up at the top who are quicker than the midfield guys, but usually the midfield here will be absolutely insanely close. Like, we could honestly expect to see 3rd or 4th all the way back to about 12th or 13th under a blanket here today.
I would absolutely agree. I mean, look at the times right now. You know, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. These guys are all really, really close to one another. As you know, we've been talking. B-Baby puts into P3. B-Dunk, a very, very quick driver's P4. Switchback P6. As Revsy goes 120.6, right on the heels of Chandler Seda. Really, really good lap from him. Not even 310. Yeah, not 3 100ths off of Chandler Seda. So super, super close for him.
On board with Methods in the Haas, he was looking to have a very good race at China a couple of weeks ago. He had some problems at the beginning of the race. He had to do a drive-through. He was able to rebound very nicely. He was I think we actually gave him, not driver of the day, but we gave him one of the most attacking awards, or whatever that would be called, after last week's race. He was in almost every battle, it seemed like, and he'll go up to P2 in the Haas. So it's a little bit better of a lap, but he is on those super soft tires.
One of the interesting things about Australia, too, and there's a couple of courses, or a couple of tracks that are like this in this game. Your ERS management, at the end of your hot laps, you're out of your ERS deployment. So you kind of have to manage that. Some guys like to fiddle with that a lot. I'm not one of those drivers that's going to be messing with it, especially in a qualifying setting. To me, it's really difficult to be focusing on getting the best lap possible while also fiddling with that ERS. However, you run out of that deployment on that final straight, it can cost you some time.
It definitely can. I'm one of the people that mess around with my ERS, especially on qualifying laps especially. I'm very aware of my management of it. And I know personally for me here, I'm willing to give up a tenth and a half or so in the middle sector or so, just so I know I have some of that ERS on the straightaway. Because literally, if you run out of ERS on that straightaway, you can lose upwards of 4 tenths, which can be the difference from qualifying on the front row or qualifying, 6, 7 for 8. That's how close it is.
Absolutely, and also taking a look here at some of the telemetry, our current driver in 5th, B-Dunk, has put his lap in, I think, on the soft tires. I know that's what he's on now, but 122.0 on the softs would be mega. Switchback to the 122.0 on the supers, with our top 4 drivers all currently on the ultras. Tire wear here is not terrible, not great, kind of in the middle.
Just went on board with Slingshot's lap, but 125.3 on the ultras. It looks like he may have had a few bobbles during that lap, because that is a very slow lap. I definitely expect more out of the Mercedes driver. But on board now with Artisan, he's in front of his teammate Mitch. Artisan was doing a little bit of bragginess, being a little bit cocky in the chat earlier, talking about his lap times and time trial. Well, let's see if he put his money where his mouth is, and he can put up a good lap here in qualifying.
It's always interesting to see the difference between time trial and the actual race, because you can, I've done it myself, you can spend hours putting in time trial laps, and then you get to a race setting, you get to qualifying, and it's just a little bit different, and it throws you off. And then in the race setting itself, actually, a good example for me was in Belgium in our season 1. I did all this time in time trial, felt great, never did any race practice, hit Eau Rouge on a harder compound of tire, and lost it. It's one of those things you have to prepare for everything. You can't just be in your time trial laps, but it's all about all over preparation.
And after his first run, Artisan does a 128.3. That's going to be under evaluation for the 107% rule, as Mitch goes up to P8. Very good run for him. Let's see if someone else can go on board with Watchman in the run. I expect to see a pretty decent result out of him this week.
Watchman on those purple ultra soft would offer a ton of grip around here. Oh, sector 1. Chandler Seda goes fastest, 120.36. Puts the gap a little bit on Revsy, gives himself some breathing room.
Yeah, I already seen that lap is currently out of the 107% rule. He's going to have to need to pick it up by about a second and a half at least.
Yeah,
but we're on board watch. P9,
okay.
Not bad for the Renault driver. But.
No, 128.3 is really, really slow around here. I would definitely expect him to put in a faster lap than that by the end of the session.
I mean, taken apart from the, if you cut out the top 2 drivers, you got
Watchman
Watchman Rex!
Watchman's out.
Oh, does anybody behind him? That might affect someone's lap here. Yeah, E-Road's had to take evasive action. I believe that hurt his lap possibly. Anybody else? Switchback is coming up on the incident now, and he's going to have to back out of it. Wow, that hurt some people's laps.
I know that feel in my very first league race here in Australia. I don't know if you remember because I think I bottled your lap. I actually wrecked in the same spot in qualifying, and it was not great.
That curve, you can use it for a little bit of assurance there to be able to make sure the car stays stable. If you're running a little bit of a low downforce, it's fine too. But if you're running a very low downforce setup, especially with that rear wing, it's going to be very difficult to keep it stable on these curbs, as Mr. Beefbaby does his second lap on the supers. And he's able to run just a little bit slower, and he's P4 at the moment.
Yeah, like I said, that's kind of one of those spots I would call it kind of choke point, where if you mess up the line, you can really hose yourself.
On board B-Dunk, because it was looking like he was on the flyer. It looked like he was backed out of it possibly a little bit. Trying to find somebody who's on board. Where Nug Life, no, he's not in yet. Who's on?
Looks like Beef Baby's pushing on the supers.
I'm surprised he's going to go for 2 here. You can definitely do it on the supers, but once you do your out lap, your 2 flyers, and your cooldown lap, you can easily be in about 8 or 10%. I'm wondering if it's going to be worth it here.
Definitely one of those things, kind of a calculated risk to take. Let's see here now, Mr. Beef Baby's going to duck off into the pit entry. 6 minutes left here in qualifying. Australia split 2.
Oh, switchback. He's on a very good lap. Sorry to interrupt you, but he was 3.5 tenths up just through the. Oh, they got 6 tenths home through the second sector.
Oh, that's an invalidation.
Oh!
There's no way that didn't invalidate his lap.
That's a shame too. He was on track to jump up easily into the top 3 there if he wouldn't have invalidated. Face is about to start a hot lap. Is there anybody else on a hot one? I believe Nug Life is in the Red Bull. Let's see what he can do.
Artie Sim out on his out lap, currently going to have to improve that time. Yellow, sector 1, 2. Oh my gosh! Henchman just got wrecked out by a Ferrari. That was Artisan. Artisan spun it in sector 1, and Henchman just slammed into him. He was driving backwards on the track.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Artisan, no offense to you, but we're going to have to, I believe that's going to have to be cause for a leave.
Yeah, no, there's no way he can run that race with the time. I mean, couldn't even put in a second lap within the 107%. Wow, super unfortunate for Henchman.
Yeah, Henchman was actually doing very good. I think he qualified in the top 7 last week at COTA and ran in the points almost the entire race. So he definitely showed he had some good pace last week, so it's very important for him to have something like this happen.
Yeah, no, that's anything in qualifying like that that's out of your control is extremely frustrating, especially pretty early in the session when you still have a lot of time to improve. That's a real blow. Sector 1, yellow. Switch driver's getting out the way, cleared out now. Method's on an outlap, Slingshot on his outlap. P1 still stands the same. Chandler Seda with a 120.3. Chandler Seda about to cross the line, I believe, on an out. No, Chandler Seda has improved his time even more. 120.0,
Wow.
6/10 clear of P2 here. He is flying around Australia.
I'll tell you what, though, keep your eyes on Revza here, formerly known as Drip Zone. He's about to go onto the ultra soft tires. I would think he is. I'm not sure if he is, but I think he set that 20.6 on the supers, while Chandler set his on the ultras. Is that correct?
I'm not sure. I know Revsy's out on the telemetry. It says I think it was the ultras that Revsy put his lap in. He's on the supers now. I believe our top 4 drivers are all currently on the ultras. We got B-Dunk on his out lap. B-Dunk set his lap on the softs, I do believe, and now is on the purple ultras. 2.5 minutes left here in qualifying to see how the rest of this session is going to play out. Oh, Revsy, careful. Oh, Revsy saves it at the end, at the beginning of Sector 2. Dude looks to be in a flyer here, looking to improve his P3.
I'm going to be very surprised if we can go quicker on these supers. We'll find out after this sector if he has a crack at it here. I'm not sure. He's going to have to... It looked like that thing was darting a little bit in sector 2.
So I got 1:45 left. If you haven't left the pits, I doubt you're going to get out of the time for now. As, yeah, Revsy dips off into the pits. I don't think he won't have enough time to go for another lap. He's going to have to hold out at 120.6. As, okay, Beef Babies looks like, can't tell, it looks like he's on the second lap. He's out of ERS deployment at the end of Sector 1. Ledoux looks to be charging up his battery for a run here one last time. B-Dunk's on a flyer. A couple drivers in the pits. Yellow Sector 2.
And Taylor's about to start a flyer on the supers.
As Taylor goes P5. 121.7 on the super softs.
That's not a bad lap for the supers.
Absolutely not. That's our highest starting position for someone on the supers, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays into the strategy. Let's see here, Methods, I believe, finishing up his lap. Oh, he had to back out of that, or he might be going for another one here. Let's see. No, he's not going to have time. Let's see here. Yellow Sector 1. It's looking like this is going to be, yeah, Ledoux's backed out of his lap. I think this is going to be our final classification. I say that as B-Dunk comes across. B-Dunk's coming across the line here. Is it going to be
P2?
P2, 120.1. All right, the session has officially ended. Full course yellow. I think that's going to be it. Seda's done. B-Dunk's done. Waiting on Methods, currently on his lap on the Ultras. Ooh, let us close right there. Once Methods finishes this lap, we'll have our final starting grid.
Well, that's your qualifying results here. Switchback down to P7. That's a bit of a surprise. Taylor up there in P6. Any more surprises for you there, Adam?
Honestly, the top of the grid looks kind of what I would expect it to look like. I know Seda and B-Dunk have pretty insane pace. Ledoux right up there as well is pretty expected. So nothing too crazy. I would say, Switchback, Slingshot, and those guys have a lot of pace. So I'm curious to see how they do during the race. So Chandler Seda takes pole here in Australia, 120.078. B-Dunk not far off behind him, 6/100ths behind, both on the ultra soft tires. Only a couple guys in the top 10 running the supers, Taylor and Switchback, both set their laps on the supers. They are the only two, and then E-Road set his lap on the softs. So going for a very different strategy there.
And I'll tell you what, it's going to be very critical for Taylor and Switchback starting P6 and P7. They're right on the edges of the front of the field, but right at the beginning of the midfield. They need to be able to quickly get away from the midfield. That way they're not fighting with the tires and they're not at a risk for getting wing damage or something.
Yeah, this is one of those ones, the start here is hectic as always. There's grass on both sides of the track. You know, if you make a mistake, you go a little late on the brakes. It's a little easier with ABS, but you lock up in that first corner and you're in for a rough ride.
And Artie Sim has been asked to leave the lobby for two reasons. One, for being outside the 107% rule. That's a rule we have in place in the Split 2 and Split 1 division, where you have to be within 107% of the leader's time, and he was significantly off that. And because of the incident with Henchman, and he is yet to leave, so this is going to be interesting here.
Yeah, super unfortunate. The first time I've seen that rule actually had to be enforced in any of our BRL races. So I know it was his first one here, but that's just unacceptable. You can also take out someone else. That's tough.
And if he refuses to leave, that'll most likely be a race ban, if not more.
Nation lap
it's something we don't like to.
Oh, B-Dunk is not going. B-Dunk is sitting at the line. A couple of drivers are sitting at the line.
Oh.
Switchback, B-Dunk, these guys are disqualified.
Switchback got disqualified. What in the world is happening? Artie Sim got disqualified.
Very interesting.
Oh, wow. Artie Sim we just got word. Oh, someone just crashed on the formation lap. What in the world?
Easy, Grosjean.
And we just got word Artie Sim actually readied up before the admins did as well. So this might be a lead man. He has left the session. Thank God.
He has left the session.
Thank goodness.
Let's see here. Yeah, no, I think it was Watchman who spun it right there at the end of Sector 1. Those soft tires have very, very low levels of grip, as we are seeing here as he slides around the beginning of Sector 2. Henchman just disqualified himself from the formation lap. Everybody's trying to get some heat into their tires. This is going to be a huge benefit for Chandler Seda, getting to have those heat in the tires at the beginning of the race while B-Dunk struggles for grip. That's definitely going to help him get out to an early lead. So Watchman is disqualified from the session. All right, Seda coming up to the final straight. We are almost underway here. Let's see what's going to turn out. 29 laps are on the streets of Albert Park.
And I'll tell you what, this is really going to hurt drivers like B-Dunk, Switchback. I don't know if it was their fault for that, but this is going to really hurt them being on cold tires. So they're going back through the field. Drivers lining up to their correct grid positions now. Coming up to the line, Mitch, Slingshot, E-Roads, and Sparky, who actually joined late, our points leader, starting shotgun on the field.
Alrighty, everybody is lined up. We are ready to go.
5 red lights for BRL Split 2 at Australia. And it's lights out, and away we go.
What has happened?
That's got to be a lot of lag there, but
we've got
lights out, and away we go.
Wow.
There's some lag.
Super interesting start. I don't know if Taylor jumped it. Seda's out front. Red Bull's at the crest.
Go on board with the Red Bull. He's side by side. Oh, side by side and then look back.
Really interesting start. Don't know what happened there. I don't know if that was lag or what, but on my screen, only one of the McLarens win. Oh, McPherson is has wrecked out. He's done. And a big crash
Oh,
in the rear.
so it's been, oh, Mitch.
Slingshot Mitch. E-Roads all taken out. 5-second stop go for Mitch. For severe collision with E-Roads, McLaren is spun out with Ledoux. He's all the way at the back of the pack.
Absolute carnage at the beginning of this race. Wow. And Sparky's moved up to 9th in half a lap. Oh, so it's for this Chandler! Chandler spun!
Oh! He can't rejoin. He's got to wait. He's got to wait for the field to pass.
Oh my gosh!
Oof! Pulls out in front of the henchman. Henchman's dodging people all over this race.
Has he
Big
gifted
Facias.
Big to win?
Oh my goodness. Absolutely
Big
tragic
Babies.
for the pole setter.
Did Beef Baby start on the Supers?
I'm not sure. Let's see, Beef
If
Baby.
he started on the Supers, he is in absolute phenomenal position right now.
I think we've got all of our drivers currently on the Ultras. Beat up out front, Mr. Beef Baby, Revsy.
Fergie's battling
too
Nug
wide.
Life for 6.
Boy, Nug Life.
That gearbox, he got a boost.
Oh, Sparky's going to be fast coming into this corner. Nug Life really well defending there on the inside line. Super tight.
Oh,
Let's
he ran into
go. Gets
Here
around the
comes Taylor.
outside. Taylor's right there. Wow. Super close here. Watching right behind on those soft tires. Taylor's pushing Nug Life here. Methods has crashed. Methods is out.
Methods crashed.
He stayed in it.
There's
Sorry,
not
I
out.
apologize. Kept his wheel. And I see these are the points on the track where you make a mistake and it'll really cost you. And for already for Chandler Seda, Mick Facias, a couple of big crashes already here early. Going through here, falling board with Taylor. He's going to get a better exit out of that chicane. The Nug Life, he's going to have the inside line, makes the pass, gets on the brakes.
Oh, Nug Life going to switch back.
Not going to have the space. He's going to get into position. Taylor's going to make it into P6. Watchman watching a bit from afar. Beat him, puts in the fastest lap of the 124.5. Got a comfortable 2.5-second lead.
No, Beef Baby is on the Ultras. The first guy on the Supers is Switchback, and then Sparky and Taylor. So,
and Sparky is.
They can stay.
Let's see. We've got Chandler, who is this? Methods in the pits. Chandler Seda all the way back into P12. Wow, absolutely wild start.
A lot of the drivers had to pit on that first lap. I think we had 5 now in the first 2 laps. We've never had that chaotic of a start this season, I think.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane. Poor Henchman literally had to avoid Seda coming back onto the track after getting taken out, having to try to avoid a car in qualifying. So he's had a very interesting race here today. Or looking around, Beatum just continuing to gain that lead. 3 seconds now. Revsy about 1.5 seconds behind Beef Baby. And EGC Sparky's all over the back of Switchback, starting last on the grid, fighting for P4. Yellow sector 1-2. Methods is out.
is retired. Is he wrecked out?
I do believe so. Yes, he
right
same
there.
spot. The exact same spot. That's the thing. That curve right there is brutal, and it's one of those ones where you don't really think about it often, but it'll catch you out. That's 2 drivers out on that curve alone.
Sparky's up and on Switchback. Wow. And Sparky is running no assist this race. He told me that.
Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, he's already moving through the field. Got really lucky with some of the chaos there at the beginning, but starting from dead last and P4 already on those super softs, he's in a real good position right now. Now Switchback's gonna be pushing to try to make up some time. Revsy's still about 1.5 seconds on Beef Baby. Looking at the field, Watchman about 0.8 behind Nug Life on those soft compound tires. Oh, yellow sector 3. Oh, someone's I think, who is that? Is that Beatum? Beatum just
Beatum wrecked!
Beatum wrecked!
He wrecked in the same spot as Chandler!
Oh my goodness! The chicane here in Australia taking out leaders one by one. Beef Baby's got to be careful.
If I'm Beef Baby right now, I'm just hoping whatever witch spell was on the leader doesn't happen to me. Oh my gosh.
Absolute chaos here. That is our third DNF here from crashes. Insane stuff. Beef Baby now with a 1.5 second lead on Revsy. EGC Sparky about 3.5 behind him.
I'll tell you what, if Sparky can continue to close the gap, he might just win this race.
I mean, it would not surprise me at all. He has massive pace, and especially with getting to go a little bit longer on those tires, if he can manage it, he's in a really, really good spot right now, and he's taking time out of Revsy.
And I'll tell you what, the amount of DNFs this race, which is a lot for this early in the race, has gifted some guys some really good positions. I mean, look at Beef Baby, he's leading the race. Sparky's come back from shotgun in the field to P3. You've got Nuglife up in P6, phenomenal for him. Watchman 7th, Henchman 8th. I mean, this is an incredible job for some of these drivers.
But a pretty rough start for some of our top guys. Seda down in P10 after setting pole. Ledoux P9 after having an incident here at the beginning of the race. Pretty crazy stuff here for here in Australia. On board here with Watchman right on the gearbox of Nuglife. Henchman's not far behind him either.
I told you, Henchman is really starting to come into his own now. He's on the super soft tire, granted a little bit quicker than the soft tire, but he is caught up really to Nuglife also, who was on the softer compound tire. Oh, his Watchman goes wide. Henchman's going to have a shot right here.
Holding back for Henchman. We got 3 different compounds of tires between 6th, 7th, and 8th. Revsy is within a second of Beef Baby. He is almost in his DRS zone.
Oh, I thought he was going to possibly go for a lead, but Henchman, he's one of the older drivers in the field. Actually, I think he is the oldest driver in the field. But he's a very smart racer. He won't go for any unnecessary moves, but he ain't afraid to stick his nose in there and go for a little cheeky move.
Revsy's going to start putting pressure on Beef Baby.
And also with B-Dunk's retirement, his streak of wins goes away. Just thought of that.
Super unfortunate stuff for a really, really fast driver. That is unbelievable. I've seen these guys pull off some insane drives and to wreck out in the same corner. That's nuts. Really early pit.
Really early. Oh, he's got a wing damage. That's why. Is he two-stopping?
I don't know. I don't know how long you make those softs last. Oh, Watchman's going for it on Nuglife from the outside. Late on the brakes, Watchman's going to go wide. He's not going to make that turn. And he gets passed by Henchman. Gets passed by Henchman. Same thing that happened to Danny Kvyat in Australia this year. Went a little wide at that turn, and it cost him the position.
Oh, Henchman, is he going up the inside? No, he cannot. But he's going to get a run right here. He'll have a crack at him down the back.
I have to interrupt. Revsy is 2/10 behind Mr. Beef Baby and about to hit the DRS activation.
Oh,
Beef Baby's going to come from the inside.
Late on the brakes. Oh, Sparky's right behind him. Oh, Sparky up the inside.
Oh my gosh, this is insane. Oh, Sparky, be careful. Oh, train forming through here. Oh, there go. Oh, Sparky gets the net lead on those supers. If he can push these supers for a couple more laps and really push in the pace, he might have this race.
I thought they were going to do ultras to super. It looks like they're going to do ultras to softs here. No, they're doing a two-stop. At least Revsy is. What's Beef Baby doing? Is he on the softs?
Taylor now moves into P2. Henchman P3. So the harder compound tires definitely are paying off a little bit right now. It's going to be interesting to see how it comes into play later in the race. Lots of guys in the pits.
Beef Baby and Rebsy might have just cost themselves this race because they're too stopping. I did not expect to see that. They literally might have just cost themselves this race. Wow.
Let's see here, Rebsy within about half a tenth of Ledoux. Looking at the Ledoux has not stopped yet. Except he's going to have to stop again. I mean, he's got these ultras on. Those aren't going to last super long. Right here on Ledoux.
Oh, he got squeezed.
Ledoux covers that line.
Vettel and Hamilton, but still squeezed.
Inside line through here is tough. He's going to push out. Okay, gets the move done. Rebsy gets past Ledoux. Oh, Ledoux lost it. He's done.
Oh, Ledoux spun.
Yep. No wing damage. Good recovery from Ledoux. Switchback's far enough back. Those tires, and it's one of those things, you push just one lap too far on tires that are worn and it'll bite you. Oh, Switchback lost it! Switchback lost it as well!
Wow!
This corner is just eating drivers alive!
And just like that, Chandler's back in P8, but he will have to stop again. And Beef Baby, oh, you got side by side, Watchman and a Rebsy! And then there's Beef Baby! Where's he gonna go? Left side, or is he going to get back on the inside?
Oh, around touches the grass a little bit. Lockup from the Red Bull. Mr. Beef Baby, P5. So our current top 3 drivers all started on the super soft tires.
And I'll tell you what, just like that, Sparky is your leader, with Taylor in second, Hinchman in third. If you would have told me that was the order a third of the way through this race, I would have told you you're absolutely insane.
Look at now, Switchback's all over the gearbox of Chandler. He's looking up the inside, has a peek. Yeah, he's not going to go for it. Not quite there. About 4 tenths off. Henchman, okay.
No, he's not. He's just got passed by Rebsy. Wow, that was very quick.
One more here with Switchback. Keeps it safe through that wicked turn. It's really causing trouble for our drivers.
Beef Baby, will we try to get back by his full senior teammate? It looks like Hinchman's just going to let him by here. Very good team.
Rebsy puts in the fastest lap of the race, 1:24.5.
Oh, Chandler's off! Chandler got in the grass! Look at the notes in the corner!
On my screen, Chandler's just fine.
Yeah, he's back to full speed now, but I just caught him for a brief moment. He was all the way in the grass. He's the notes in the corner.
Yeah, you're right. Switchback got past it. Looking around here, Henchman close to Beef Baby outside the DRS zone.
Sparky let him by. Hinchman let Beef Baby by on the straightaway. It looked like a little bit of possible teamwork. We're going to have to see if Beef Baby or Hinchman will be able to make it onto the podium. We're going to have to see if that was possibly some team strategy right there.
Sada's closing back up to Switchback. Switchback is on those ultras. Chandler's on the old supers. Rebsy, 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings.
That's costly because we have not seen hardly any penalties.
Watchman was wide on that corner, lets off the throttle.
Chandler's closing back in on Switchback. He's already gained half a second just in the past 2 sectors.
Yeah, he's flying with that DRS right there. I'm nervous every time drivers go through the chicane because I'm always worried someone's going to go off.
Well, I was on board with, I think it was Switchback the last lap. They're just mounting the curve, which is something unusual. At least I know, I'm not sure if you do it in split one, but I know for me, I just like, oh, as it goes wide. Chandler went really wide. But I know on that curve, you just want to kiss it a little bit, get your tires just a little bit on it. You really don't want to mount it because it'll unsettle the car with how low you have the suspension in these cars.
It's one of those things where I don't think it's ever really intentional, like at least for me, because I've hit that curve plenty of times and I've made the mistake there. But it's one of those things where like you're pushing really hard, you've got a driver behind you, you're pushing to get the person in front of you, and you go just a little bit wide, and next thing you know, you're facing backwards on the track, or you're without a wheel. So So it's one of those things that's it's just a really costly mistake if you make it.
Especially if you have worn tires or heavy fuel, it just makes the car even more difficult to drive and just a little bit easier for you to lose it right there.
I agree. I think this turn's kind of, for me at least, in F1 2018, it's kind of on par with Eau Rouge in terms of if you're not really precise there, it will eat you alive.
It's just about the car has to be settled heading into some of these corners. It's noticeable on this game, and I'm sure it will even be more noticeable on the next game with curves and just cars. Nug Life gets a penalty. Just you got to be able to keep the car stable.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited to see how F1 2019, the handling model is, how everything is, because it was a huge jump from 17, but it'll be interesting to see. As we've been talking, EGC Sparky is about 9.5 seconds ahead of P2. Oof, on that curve a little bit. On around the track here. Chandler a little over a second behind yellow sector 3. E-Roads is done. E-Roads is DNF'd. A fourth DNF here in Australia. Crazy stuff going on this weekend. E-Roads in the same corner. Lost it as Henchman gets a 3-second time penalty. Oh my goodness.
You're starting to get into the point of the race, at least for the one-stop runners. Your tires are really starting to get worn. You're about to pit. You're trying to push and get the maximum out of the tires. If you're... Sparky gets a 5-second stop and go! He might have just cost himself the race. Once again, the leader bottling it. Where's Revsy's going to come? Revsy's just now on the straightaway. Who's going to come out first? Revsy's going to be ahead. Will Beef Baby also?
Yes.
Wow. Sparky might have just cost himself this race. Wow.
That 5-second stop go is going to be brutal. But saying that you can't count out this kid. He's got so much pace. He's proved it all season. Even today, starting from dead last, the fact that he's even running in P3 is pretty insane. So it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to go on these soft tires.
But also, you got to remember the first two guys, they're going to have to pit again. So what they're doing right now is trying to just build a gap because they're probably going to go to the ultra soft tires for the end. So they want to build, if I'm no Revsy right here, especially with the 3-second time penalty, I want to try to build up at least, I'd say, to about a 10-second gap right now.
Oh, yellow sector 2.
Taylor, he spun it. It looks like, or maybe just went off track.
Chandler Sade is all over the back and switch back.
These guys just can't get away from each other, it seems like. And Watchman and Henchman are going to battle also, but Watchman looks like he's too far back right now. Chandler might go for a move.
Yeah, he's going to have that DRS. Chandler's going to cover the outside. Really good defensive move there from Switchback. Really, really nice stuff there. One clean move to the outside.
Oh, Watchman's all over the back of Henchman. Henchman's pitting, though. Henchman's pitting. Oh, so Chandler's pitting. Wow.
Watchman starting on those soft tires. He is not, I don't know, because he's done 13 laps. Oh, yeah, so I guess he has. Starting on those tires. Softs is doing pretty good here. Revsy's only about not even a second in front of Mr. Beef Baby. Mr. Beef Baby's in a much better position putting on those super soft tires compared to the Ultras. He's going to be able to go a lot longer than Revsy is. And especially if he's getting pushed and he's got the pressure from the driver behind him, Revsy's got to be careful.
But also, you have to think for these drivers. The Beef Baby, if I'm Beef Baby, you can ask Jeff whether or not the driver ahead has a penalty or not. I'm pretty sure he knows that Revsy has a penalty right here, and he just wants to be able to get by him as quickly as possible so he doesn't lose any time, and that way he can just continue to build a gap. Because part of making the two-stop strategy work is maximizing the tires to their full degree, meaning getting every little ounce of time you can out of them after each lap so you can make the strategy work. Because obviously if he stays at the gap he is right now, he's going to end up 15 seconds behind Sparky when he pits onto the Ultras. So it's all about maximizing the tire potential.
Yeah, absolutely. Gonna be really interesting to see here. Looking around, Mr. B Baby's still all over the back of him. All I'm saying is Sparky is making up time on the two of them.
Well, they built a gap on the Sparky's outlet. They gained a second, but just by them, not necessarily battling, but just being close to each other, just that the lack of grip by Rezi and the dirty air on Beef Baby, they've already lost a second to Sparky.
Yeah, Sparky's looking fast too through this sector, really clean. Watchman currently running P4 at about 5 seconds to P5, so he's in a good position right now. He will have to make his stop.
Adjun's looking for Spartan's Watchman. If he can just hold his pace and he'll pit, I'm assuming it will be onto the Ultras here in about 5 laps or so. He might have a shot at coming out of this race with a top 6 or so, which is pretty good considering where he started and the misfortune he had.
Sparky gets a
3-second time penalty
on top of the 5-second stop go. That's going to be brutal.
Well, Sparky's already started the 5-second, hasn't he? On his
I don't believe so. I don't believe he did because he got it right as he entered.
So, assuming he hasn't, he's going to have 8 seconds worth of penalties right here. So, Beef Baby, he knows Orezi has 3 seconds. He knows Sparky has 8. He needs to get around Orezi. That way he can maximize the tire, the supers, and then he can go onto the ultras and really fight to catch Sparky back.
Looking around here, Henchman pretty close to switchback.
But Switchback did just pit, and he's on the ultra soft tires. I don't know if he's going to be able to make them work. Yeah, 13 laps. That seems like that's a pretty tall order. I think the most I've ever been able to do on the ultras in a 50% race is 11 laps or so. So that's going to be a very tall order.
I believe Switchback's on the softs.
Shown on me, he was on the ultras. So
oh, interesting.
Not sure.
It looks like I think most of our midfield from 3rd to 10th are all running the softs. Mitch is on old supers, and Slingshot's on some fresh softs. Our 2 leaders got 8 laps on ultra softs and super softs respectively. And Mr. Beef Baby just cannot get past Revsy. This is a tough track to overtake on, especially in situations like these. A little lock up from Revsy. Revsy's into the pits. Mr. Beef Baby's going to have the jump on him. He's got to start pushing to make up time on Sparky.
This means Orezi, he's going to have to go into the supers, which I'm just not sure how they're going to be able to work for him with 13 laps left. That they're easily able to do it, but with Beef Baby going on to the ultras for the final stint, I'm just not sure how the strategy is going to work out for him.
Oh, Watchman's going to be ahead of Revsy. Watchman and Taylor's all over Watchman right now. P3 currently, but Taylor's right there on very newer tires. Very new, on newer tires. Looks like he's going to go for it. Nah, it looks up the inside, thinks wiser of it.
He looked, oh, Watchman went wide. Those tires are getting very old on there.
Seda in P7 puts in the fastest lap. Nuglass gets a 3-second time penalty. He's battling all the Renaults all over the track.
Oh, Watchman goes really wide, and Orezi's right behind him.
Oh, man, this is crazy. It looks like someone lost a little bit of wing. Watchman should have pitted this last lap. He's really hurting himself with these used tires.
Well, and like I said, what he's wanting to do here, if I were to start on the softs, is try to make it work. Oh, Rezi goes around the outside of Taylor. Wow.
Taylor let him by. Taylor pulled off and let off the throttle just a little bit. Rezi just went around the outside. He's got to know he's on much newer tires and a softer compound. Revsy's back into P3, 20 seconds behind Sparky, who is also now about a second behind Mr. Beef Baby.
Wow. Well, Beef Baby surely, hopefully, knows Sparky has 8 seconds worth of penalties. He's just trying to stretch those supers just a little bit longer so he can maximize the potential for the ultras. But back to Watchman, he's now pitting. I'm really interested to see if he does go into the ultras. Because, like I said, if I was Watchman and I started on the softs, I'd want to take them as far as I can so I can jump onto the ultras for the last.
He's going on the supers.
Going on the supers. Wow.
Nuglife jumps into the pits as well.
I would have pitted a lap or two earlier if I was watching, if I was going to go to the supers, but I'm not him, so.
Seda is up into P5. Pretty good recovery from him after his incident earlier. Ledoux, P7.
And Sparky has gotten within DRS of Beef Baby. Wow.
6 tenths. 5 tenths.
This means if Beef Baby is to pit right in front of Sparky at some point in the next couple laps, that means he's going to have to gain probably about 13 seconds back up to Sparky. That's going to be a pretty tall order as we close in on about 10 or 11 laps to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's 5 tenths behind now, 4 tenths. Not going to have the space. He's close. Not quite there.
Well, I think Sparky knows that Beef Baby is going to have to pit again. So I think he's just minding his time here.
Oh,
he went for
it!
There's contact!
That was opportunistic from Sparky. That was a bit of a lunge.
That was a bit aggressive.
Oh!
Beef Baby is not going to be. Oh, Beef Baby went wide. Good save. But Beef Baby's going to have to pit this lap. With 10 laps to go, surely you'll be able to take the ultras 10 laps.
It's one of those things, for Sparky, you can pull it off in the game, but I mean, he went right into the side pod of Beef Baby. That would have been huge amounts of damage. That was a really opportunistic is the nice word for it, for a dive bomb right there. Really, really far back.
And Beef Baby is lucky he didn't get wing damage right there. That could have been very costly if he ended up getting wing damage.
Looking back through the pack here, Henchman, then a second of Ledoux. Henchman on much newer tires as well, both. Let's see.
And Beef Baby's diving in the pits. Let's see how much time he does in fact to lose here to Sparky. And where will he come out? Will he come out in front of O'Rezzy? That would be really interesting to see here.
He's in the pits, placing tires.
The ultras.
Oh, it's gonna be close.
O'Rezzy's about to come around the final corner. Beef Baby might be able to. Beef Baby about to go.
Oh no, Rev's gonna have it. Rev's gonna pass.
Rev's
Yellow
gonna
sector 3. That's Taylor.
Oh, it's
Taylor's
Taylor!
gone off.
Taylor's
P4. He spun right at the end of his lap, right before the final straight.
Maybe he just caught the grass a little bit right before you turn into the right, that final corner there. That's very easy to do if you're trying to get a sweeping turn in, but that's going to be very costly. Henchman is now all over the back of Ledoux.
Five-second stop go for Taylor, speeding in the pit lane. Wing change as well for Taylor. Let's see here. Revsy, 17 seconds behind Sparky. He's got 9 laps to gain about 10 seconds. Oh, well, Revsy's got a penalty as well, so he needs to gain even more than that.
Yeah. So Beef Baby, he doesn't have a penalty. Revsy does. Revsy, he's about a second and a half off him, and he'll be able to jump him at least. But if he wants to be able to get around Sparky, it should be a tall order. He's going to have to gain about 13 seconds here in 9 laps. If there's a yellow sector 1. Who is it? Oh, they're closing up on. Oh, they're trying to see. It's went away. I'm not sure what it's for.
I guess the incident was cleared. Chandler Seda, who's in P4, is coming up on the back marker of Slingshot. Slingshot needs to get out the way. Chandler, rear ends. Rear ends are, wow.
Or Slingshot, that might be an incident report following the race. Slingshot's usually very good about getting out of the way if he's a bit slower. I guess Chandler just didn't realize at the rate of speed Slingshot was going to get out of the way, and I just guess Slingshot just... I'm not sure what happened with there.
Super close to Henchman. About as close as you can get without
Henchman
contact.
just got around him. Ledoux was actually ahead of Henchman. Now Henchman's ahead. Wow.
This is our current closest batch. He's still about 17 seconds behind Sparky.
I'll tell you, I know it's only a P6, but I've got to give props to Hinchman. This is probably the best. Oh, as he gets a 3-second time penalty. But this is probably the best race Hinchman has had in this league. I thought Cody was pretty good to him. He's been in the points all race, and if he can just hold what he has here, he's going to get a solid top 6 finish, which is not bad for the Australian driver.
Yeah, absolutely. As Mr. Beef Baby puts in the fastest lap of the 1:24.0. Switchback currently P4. Mr. Beef Baby about 3 seconds behind Revsy. So if he closes that gap, he's looking at P2, and Revsy's not gaining the time on Sparky that he needs to.
As Chandler goes into the pits here, Hinchman, Ledoux, Watchman, possibly Nug Life are all going to pass.
Ledoux spun it. Ledoux lost the rear end.
Spun. Man, what is going on?
This race.
Chandler's still in the pits here. Will Nug Life get around Chandler? It's going to be a very close battle. Possibly. No, Nug Life has it. Nug Life has it. Chandler's going to drop to 9th. This is a huge hit in the points for the Williams driver.
Really unfortunate for him. Let's see what else is going on around the track. Nothing super close yet. Revsy a little bit of time game on Sparky. Mr. Beef Baby within that 3-second zone. Switchback sitting pretty comfortably right now in P4. 20 seconds to P3 and about 10 seconds to P5. So looking pretty comfortable as long as he keeps his head. Mr. Beef Baby sets the fastest lap, 1:23.7 on those ultras. Taylor has gone off again. Taylor into the wall in Sector 1. Really, really rough weekend for him.
Oh, and I think he's retired. I saw him ghosted there. No, he's back. He was just running away. Tell you what, Taylor, at the beginning of this race, it looked like he was going to get a solid top 5, but now he's outside the points, and it's just a lot of people's races haven't gone to plan.
When he locks up, goes into the sand. Taylor just having a rough go of it here in Australia.
Man, that's really unfortunate. Like I said, it looked like he was going to have a good shot at getting some really good points for him and Team McLaren. But, just drivers like him, Slingshot, he had a bad run at the beginning. Now he's had some trouble. Chandler, obviously, at the beginning. Ledoux, it's just some of these drivers not having good races, and it's been able to give some guys some really good, looks like points haul here. I mean, look at Hinchman. He's up there in P5. If you would have told me Hinchman was going to be in contention for a top 5 at the end of this race, I would have told you you're
Yellow
stupid.
Sector 3.
But,
Taylor, I think, went off again.
Yeah, Taylor. No, he's just letting.
Yeah.
He's letting Switchback by, I believe. And Beef Baby is starting to close in on Revsy here, so it looks like he's going to try to get around him just for at least a little bit of pride.
3 seconds. Another Yellow Sector 3.
That's got to be Taylor,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Taylor just.
He's really struggling now.
And Slingshot's about to pass Taylor here for P11. Yep.
Chandler stated
Slingshot's
Chandler
gonna
gets a
move up.
3-second time penalty.
Wow. Oh, we got a bout for 8th though. Actually, Chandler and Negla.
Taylor gets another 5-second time penalty. See here, Nug Life.
Negla was doing pretty good. He started the race off good. Oh,
Yellow Sector 1. Watchman, I believe, just had an incident. P7. I think he lost position to Ledoux.
Oh, he lost his left front wing. He's retired. Wow. That's going to move Chandler up in position. That's going to move Nug Life up, Mitch up, and that's going to give Slingshot a points result here just by Watchman retiring. Wow.
Really unfortunate for him. He was having a really good race. The only driver that started on the soft tires. Very unfortunate for him.
I'll tell you what, Beef Baby's starting to close in on Revsy. It doesn't look like he's going to have any shot at Sparky, unfortunately, but he's going to be able to get around to Revsy here, it looks like, for a little bit of pride here. And I tell you what, Beef Baby, he's going to be kicking himself after this race because he knows if he just could have made the one-stop work, been able to stretch those ultras, he could have won this race. But he decided to go for the two-stop decision you sort of make in qualifying. And I just don't think he expected Sparky to make his way that quickly through the field. So it's really hurt him out of chance at this win, but he can still get a solid P2 possibly here.
I think it's just one of the things, that's just league racing in general. For all these guys, are guys who wrecked out, guys who, spun it, lost it in a weird position. As Beef Baby gets a 3-second time penalty, so that just opened this wide open.
Oh, they're even now. So this is a battle on track now.
Unlike Canada this weekend where a penalty ruined the race, this just made it really interesting. Sparky just cruising along, approaching some back markers here. Looks like Mitch and the Ferrari up ahead. Beef Baby all over the back of Revsy.
So unlike the Canadian GP where the finish was decided based off the time penalties, we're actually going to be able to see a straight up fight here for P2.
Whoa! Careful, Beef Baby.
that curve will get you, won't it there, Adam?
Absolutely, it will. Revsy makes a little mistake there as well. Oh, Chandler's looking out, not Chandler, Mr. B was looking up the inside.
Oh, the inside!
Not quite. Oh,
Oh,
locks up from Revsy.
Oh!
Very close stuff. Revsy holds off the position. Beef Baby pushing him.
He mounted the inside curve, which can really accelerate the car, and he's got to save some ERS, so he's
Revsy gets a time penalty.
Wow. Oh, Revsy, all he had to do was not get another penalty, but I bet he's going to be kicking himself now.
Australia is a tough one. This one, the track limits here can definitely be pretty brutal. With the rest of our field here, no other battles too close. EGC Sparky just cruising along here, P1. 15-second gap to Revsy.
As we have about a 2.5 laps here left to go around, who do you got to give the driver of the day to?
I can't give it to anybody other than Sparky. Starting dead last and moving all the way through the field, avoiding all the incidents that occurred. And we had plenty this race. It's just been phenomenal. Definitely one of the best drives I've seen in Split 2 here at BRL.
Absolutely. I saw when he was I was certainly surprised by how quickly he was able to make his way up the field just on the first lap. I believe the game, what was it, like 8 spots from the first half lap. So, being able to get through the corners, we had some really good guys. Face Taste, Methods, B-Dunk, Earroads, all top and midfield guys, have problems along with Chandler and a few others, and he was able to avoid all the carnage and be able to make the one-stop work.
Let's see here. Chandler,
going.
yeah. He's really close to Ledoux. Beef Baby still on the back of Revsy here. Sada's pushing Ledoux around the track. Taylor puts in the fastest lap. 23-1.
We're going to have to watch that too because Watchman wrecked out of the race, so really who's going to be getting the last points moved between Slingshot and Taylor, and Taylor's on fresh tires, so we're going to have to see who ends up getting that last point, because just looking at Taylor is gaining by about 3/4 of a second a sector. So it's going to be really interesting to see who just gets the final point in this race.
He's not very far off. Back here, Chandler, so close to Ledoux. I checked the interval, it was at less than a tenth.
And they're closing up on Henchman too, so we could have a 3-horse fight for P5 here.
Oh, Chandler Sada's gonna have the DRS. Opens it up, he's gonna go around the outside of the McLaren, gets the move done into turn 1. Now he's got Henchman fully in his sights.
This is incredible. We've got a battle for P2, a local yellow sector 3. Who was that?
Slingshot.
Oh, Taylor and Slingshot.
Slingshot.
Dude, it looks like Taylor may have pushed slingshot. Yeah, I think so. I think Taylor may have pushed slingshot a little bit, and then he gave the spot back. So good job by Taylor. He realized he had a little bit of a bad move there, and he gave the spot back so they can fight it out. But we've got 3 battles going on here. Battle for P2, a battle for P5, and a battle for the last point.
Baby's wide. Very last lap here in Australia. Sparky is starting to lose a little bit of time to Revsy. It's not going to be enough, but if he makes a mistake, it could be interesting.
Sector 1. Who's that?
Not quite sure.
Oh, slingshot got past.
Taylor wrecked!
Right after he got past slingshot. Wow.
Ledoux. Chandler gets past
Henchman.
Henchman.
Got around Henchman. And Sparky has half a lap to go, but we are looking at the battle for P2 and P5 here. But does Chandler have more penalties?
I'm not sure what the penalty situation is here, to be honest with you. Let's see here. Revsy's holding off Beef Baby. However, Beef Baby, if he's checked and he knows that he's got penalties ahead of him, he's not going to risk pushing and making a mistake here.
But coming around.
Mr. Beef Baby, as I say that, gets a little squirrely.
I'm trying to. Oh, Henchman and Ledoux. I'm trying not to go away from the battle here, but Sparky is going to come across the final corner. He will win here in Australia, but we want to go back to this battle. And Sparky got a 5 second. Oh wait, that's part of the stop and go. That's part of the stop.
Unserved, yep.
So Beef Baby will be able to get P2 here possibly.
It's looking like it. Revsy crosses the line. Beef Baby crosses the line. Yes, P2 for Mr. Beef Baby.
P6 was Ledoux is all over the back of Henchman, who was trying to stay within the closest of Chandler just in case he might get him on penalties.
Ledoux's coming right here. Got the DRS open on Henchman. Henchman's going to cover off the inside. Ledoux going around the outside.
He's going to dive it deep.
Oh, blade on the brakes. Wide there. Close there from Henchman.
Ledoux's not going to be happy. He's going to try to get a good run out of the final corner. He's trying to save a little bit of DRS. He's going to have DRS.
Exit here is going to be crucial. Pushes hard. A little wide. It's a drag race. Ledoux gets him on penalties. Ledoux gets him P6. Wow. Henchman P7.
Mitch wrecked out.
He is done. As Nuglife is going to finish it off, crossing the line here, P8, and that's going to conclude BRL Split to Australia.
But Slingshot went a lap down, so Mitch is going to hold the position. Oh my gosh, what a phenomenal end to that race. Goodness me.
Really, really crazy stuff. I want to point out what a really great drive from Chandler Seda. You know, he made pole, so wicked fast in qualifying. You know, makes a mistake in the race, a pretty costly one, and brings it back to P5. That was a very excellent drive from him.
But you're absolutely right. To be able to rebound from that spin and having multiple times where he got lane damage, to be able to come back for a top 5 there is amazing. But let's get our podium finishers.
Henchman as well, starting 13th on the grid all the way up to 7th. That's a great race from him as well. Yeah. Shout out to him.
He just missed out on a top 5 or 6 there, but this certainly has to be probably the best race he's ever driven in the league, certainly.
Yeah, really entertaining race, definitely. Very fun time.
And let me get a picture of the results, and I won't even have to scroll down to take a second picture because everybody's here who finished the race on the screen.
A pretty crazy race, you know. Mick Facitas out, Methods, B-Dunk, E-Roads, Taylor, all DNFing. With, you know, Seda had an incident. I believe Henchman got almost caught up in an incident as well. So really crazy stuff. Good driving from Sparky to avoid all of that. Beef Baby, all of our top 3. Basically, everyone who finished the race was dodging traffic left and right, but really exciting stuff.
And let's get the podium finishers in here if I can find Beef Baby. Rezi, I need to get him in here. I'm not sure if he's on my friends list now that he changed his gamer tag. I might have to add him as a friend real quick. Yeah. But apologies to our viewers for the screaming there at the end. That was just absolutely insane, those final couple of laps.
See here, invites have been sent out to Revsy and now to Beef Baby. Get these podium interviews started here.
Reggie's in here, so it's Beef Baby. Make sure, guys, everyone, please check mark the bots. And something I didn't note there, Adam, is Sparky actually had 11 seconds worth of penalty. So if Beef Baby would have been able to close in a few more seconds, he could have possibly had that win. But let's get started with podium interviews. You're going to have to bear with us with Sparky. He does messages. Sparky, what a drive there. You're able to start from shotgun on the field. I believe this is the first time in Split 2 history, at least, that a driver starting last on the grid is going to wind up winning the race. So, phenomenal drive by you. What are your thoughts?
Actually, let's go ahead. Let's move to our P2 driver, Mr. Beef Baby. I know Sparky's got to type out that message, so we'll hear from him in a little bit. But Mr. Beef Baby, that was some really, really good racing between you and Revsy the whole time. Really, really entertaining stuff. And how did you feel about going for the two-stop strategy?
Well, the computer wanted me to do the two-stop, and I did not feel like doing the one-stop because it never really worked out for me before. And we had Sparky coming, so I just kind of said screw it and sent it in for the two-stop. I didn't really strategize too hard, but it obviously worked out for the most part.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, the one stop around Australia can be really difficult, and I think you definitely maximized the potential you had from the two stop. But no, really, really entertaining drive from both you and Revsy. Really good stuff the whole race.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I actually thought we were even on penalties, so I really started pushing towards the end when I picked up that 3 second, and I wound up burning up. The ultra softs. I think they're up to like 7.
And that's what it kind of looked like. I was thinking, it looked like you were pushing really hard, and I was like, he's got to know, if he doesn't know that he doesn't have that penalty, he's still going to be pushing. And it looked like right there at the very end, you backed off a little. You knew you had that little margin, but still really, really good stuff.
And Revsy looks like he's trying to rejoin the party now, but people are disconnecting.
All sorts of issues here.
Yeah, something wrong with the party, but Sparky did say that he tried his best there at that race. It was a great drive by him. A lot of people having trouble connecting to the party. I'm not sure what is going on here.
We do have Beef Baby back, so there we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. Little hiccup there.
But I have a question for you, Beef Baby. Obviously, it was great to see you out front there leading the race for a good bit. What were your thoughts when you saw not only Chandler lose it there and about wreck out of the race, but when you saw B-Dunk wreck out as well? Were you a little bit nervous going to the lead after the first two drivers wrecked out?
Well, I saw them go, and I actually just kind of held my breath, and I was like, well, it's been sticking so far, so I might as well just keep trying, and it held on. It sucks to see so many guys knock themselves out at that hairpin or chicane. It's a tough one. But no, I'm just glad it held on, and I was able to stay in it. It's been a while since I was able to run up top, and the past week with the Legend car engine blowing, this one's definitely a plus.
Absolutely. We're trying to get Dripsane back in here.
There he is.
Adam, start off with any questions you have for him.
Just kind of wanted to say, how did you feel going through that race? Really, really tight stuff there towards the end. Just how'd you feel overall? What are your thoughts on your race?
Yeah, no, good race overall. I definitely think so unfortunately I went 2 laps in my qualifying. I definitely think I could have bested it on the supers by just a little bit, but didn't get a good run on the supers, and then didn't have time to go back out on the ultras. So I had to have a weird strategy. It still said to go for the one stop, but I knew the tire wear was going to be really crazy. and I just didn't want to test it, so I opted to go for the two stop. But I wanted to end on the supers because I felt they would last a little bit longer into the end of the race, and I wouldn't have to worry too much about tire wear. Ended up working out pretty good, but right there at the end, yeah, unbelievable pace from the 10 lap old ultras from Beef Baby, and he definitely kept me under pressure the whole race. Um, and then right there in the last lap, I thought he had two penalties, so I didn't push quite as hard as I could have. Um, so unfortunately, he clipped me by about 6/10. But that's F1 for you. So other than that, great race. Really enjoyed it, and Sparky had a unbelievable strategy that helped him out. So
Yeah, really, really good
Well,
stuff overall from all of our podium drivers. But I think, yeah, the battle between you two was just great to watch. It's good to see two guys that are really clean on track. I've seen you guys race plenty of times. I know that y'all are going to respect like track limits, each other. So it was just, it was really, really good. I did want to ask. I think it was Beef Baby who got dive bombed by Sparky.
Yeah.
Like he was wicked far back. Were you expecting him to shoot it up the inside right there?
Well, I saw him coming, and literally I was thinking about it too. I'm like, I knew I had junk tires, so I just kind of wanted to hold him up a little bit. So, once we did stop, we might have a little bit of a chance. But I thought about throwing the block, and then I was like, nah, there's no way, and there was a way. That was about it.
Yeah, I was really surprised there. Like, I mean, Sparky's so far back, and like I said in the stream, like during the race, opportunistic is one word, and then kind of just forcing your way through the turn is another. I know Sparky's really fast. I know that y'all are all really, really quick, but that was a very, very far dive for him there. But glad that no one got damage off that, and that the rest of the race went on pretty well. But just wanted to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah. No, I definitely thought it was a little bit aggressive to say the least, but you know what? I honestly, I no, like at the end of the day, I mean, we don't really have anything on him, so I mean, yeah, I tried to stay in DRS with him, but by the next time we came around to the front straight, I just went in and pit.
All right, and before we close here, real quick, I want to ask him something here, Adam. Drip Sane and Beef Baby, question for both of y'all. How did y'all really expect Sparky to be able to make it work on the one stop starting that far in the pack? Did y'all expect with B Dunk and Chandler essentially out of the race? Did y'all expect to be able to make the two stop easily and contend for the win? Or were y'all sort of caught off guard by Sparky being able to do that one stop like he did?
Drip, you can take this first if you want.
all right. Yeah. So I actually what I noticed with the extra fuel on the ultras on the first stint, I felt like the pace was very slow. I felt like the supers were definitely the optimal tire to actually start on. So him starting on the supers, and with a couple crash outs, I think, and he actually got through very clean. I think he actually had the best start out of everybody, like not even including how many people he passed. Um, just like the sheer pace that he had off the bat. And then just after that, the softs being able like to go all that way and knowing that we had the extra stop, honestly, I think made it pretty easy for him. We were slowly catching him there at the end, but just not enough laps to close in that much of a gap.
Well, it looked like, from at least from my point of view, that it looked like it was going to be very difficult for you going on to the ultras there at the supers at the end. I thought Beef Baby, you could have had a shot at him. Did you think you possibly had a shot doing the two stop going on the ultras that last tent, or were you just trying to get around Drip Sane there?
No, by the end of it, I kind of just thought Sparky was gone. Like I said before, we really don't have too much on him, and I wasn't surprised when I saw him in the. But I don't know if we're still fighting about the full assist thing, but a lot of assists usually help you keep your tires good. So
Well, I
about all I
actually
got
did
on
hear
it.
from that he turned off assists this race. I'm not sure whether that is true or not. But it was a great race by the three of y'all. And we will close here for BRL Split 2 at Australia. It was a action-packed when we had what was it, 3 battles at him on that
Yeah,
last lap with one driver
crazy
retiring.
stuff.
So it was absolutely phenomenal, and it was just great racing. And You know what else is phenomenal is our affiliates at Vertigear, Rogue Energy, Gamer Grind Co., and Into the AM. They do great stuff for us, serving as affiliates for BRL Esports. But it's going to be a wrap here for BRL Split to it Australia. We have only 2 more rounds left in the championship, and I actually think Sparky might have won the championship with
Yeah,
this
he
race.
locked it up.
He did.
We're gonna. Oh, he did actually. Wow. So that's big. Your champion is EGC Sparky. So that's incredible for him. He is now your BRL Split 2 short season champion, and we will all wish him a good job and a GG for winning the championship. But that's a wrap here for BRL Split 2. Be sure to tune in next Monday, 7 Central, for the penultimate round of the season at Italy. It should be an action-packed one, a bunch of dive bombs in the turn 1 possibly. But that is it here at BRL Esports. Everybody have a great and wonderful night.